Hello, David here, and the project for today is repairing a leaky faucet. This is a price fixer that I bought back in February of '97. I don't even know if they make these anymore. But I called the company. I told them it's not leaking from the faucet end here, it's leaking down the side. So probably this wasn't a normal repair part, but they assured me it was. The part they send back is the mixing valve inside plus some O-rings that ought to stop it from leaking down here. You can see when you got the water running, kind of runs down there and there's running into the cabinet, and the only way I found out about it was this thing. We got this watchdog water alarm. When it senses water on the bottom on these two contacts, it sent this little alarm, and that's the only way we knew it was leaking. So yeah, it's a good thing to have to put under your faucets. First thing we'll do is shut off the water supply, both the hot and the cold. Still got the paperwork that I had when I bought the faucet. It's a price Pfister. It's either a model 34-4 or a J34-4 or an 834-4, one of those, but it's got the parts diagram in here. You can see all the parts. So not real rich on detailed instructions on how to take it apart. Well, I guess this must be it right there. Well, I'll follow those instructions. So I still have the instruction manual that came with the faucet when I bought it. It's a price Pfister model, either 34-4 or a J34-4 or an 834-4. Got a parts diagram in here. Instructions on how to disassemble. That's what I'll be following. I was talking to Price Pfister on the phone. They told me there was no charge for the parts because it had a lifetime warranty. So they sent me this cartridge, model number 974-0350, and the two washers, model 950-910. They also sent me some type of nut here. It's a model 941-7110. Start by prying this cap off. Let's try to do it without scratching the fixture. Yeah, don't cut toward yourself. I think I got it started. There we go. Just a plastic cap with a washer around it. I'll clean that off good before I put it back in. Inside here is a Phillips screw. Yep, no washer. It's not coming up. Maybe I better read the directions. Put a little shot of a little penetrating oil in there. Oh, there we go. It's pretty crusty in there. Next piece, this collar screws on. It's made out of plastic. I think this thing screws out next. It looks like I'm going to need a channel lock pliers to get that out. Here it comes. Looks like a nylon collar. Yeah, cartridge comes right out. To get to the two O-rings that keep the water from leaking out through the bottom, this collar that holds the faucet has to come up. So it's just a matter of wiggling it and finessing it to get it up. It's just kind of a light press and fit over the two O-rings. So that's what I'm going to be working on now, is just wiggling this to get it up. There we go. Come on, the papa. Keep some rags handy to clean up any messes. Whoops. If you have any scale in here, clean it out. Don't scratch it with sandpaper or anything. Either use a alignment scale remover or some very fine steel wool. This happens to be in really good shape. It doesn't need much cleaning. Over here, there's one O-ring here, another O-ring here. There's a nylon thrush washer down here. That's not in the kit. So this thrush water stays here on the bottom. This allows the faucet to be turned from side to side without binding. Make sure when you put the new O-rings on that they're not twisted. They have to be straight because the water mixes in this area and comes out the faucet. Any leaks beyond these O-rings will leak either under the sink or over the sink. I want to get this off without destroying it to make sure it matches the size of the replacement O-ring. And also to compare the two O-rings and make sure that they are identical in dimensions. Because if there's a slight difference in dimensions, got to replace them where they go. I have a feeling they're both the same because they both come in a package with the same part number. Yes, they are identical. Oh, when you're working in the sink, it's always good to have the stopper or the drain in the sink. In case you lose any parts, you don't want them going down the drain. Clean this off really good. Uh-oh. This thing just fell off the back. There's a little opening in there. This thing fell out too while I was cleaning it. Guess I've been too aggressive on the cleaning. I'll have to follow the parts diagram to find out how that goes back in. Little white nylon thing right there. A little black thing, looks like it's neoprene. I'll have to get that back into place. I guess that's where the mixed water comes out through the back and fills this chamber. So I've got to be careful about that. Get the new O-rings on. Definitely don't want to twist them. Don't tear them on the threads. Don't find much on the internet about this valve other than it's called a diverter valve. Pfister has a video showing how to remove it. It just pulls straight out, but it doesn't show how those two pieces go back in. So I'm just going to do the best I can. Just put those two pieces back in. I'm going to assume that the neoprene one goes on the outside. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to put a little silicone paste on the O-rings. I think that ought to help it glide a little bit. I'm going to use some of this 3M silicone paste that I use when I do brake jobs. I think just a little dab will do ya. Just go all around. For the interior, make sure that you remove all of the old O-rings or gaskets that might be in there. Sometimes they come off the bottom of the old valve and stay in there, so this one happens to be stuck to the valve, but always go in there and make sure that it's all out of there. Clean it out real good. Drop the new cartridge in there. And the new cartridge comes with an O-ring in there. Watch that, that little nib's got to fit into the slot in the back. Drops in like that. Make sure that bottom's in. Next part to go on is the replacement ring. This is a new one that was supplied by Pfister, and that's brass. Comes with instructions. Instructions say to has to be wrench tight, but first of all it says to hand tighten, so it's flush with the cartridge, and then wrench tighten 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. I found that I have a 32 millimeter axle nut. Seems to fit that pretty close. So I'm just going to give it a 1/2 turn. Got to move the faucet out of the way. Okay, 1/2 turn. Okay, that's about half. Okay, this collar goes on next. It's a plastic piece, so don't put a wrench on it. It only needs to be hand tightened. Okay, let's put the handle on. Clean this out the best I could, then I put a little silicone inside there because it had a lot of corrosion in there. And put the screw in. Okay, I put the trim plate on. Guess I ought to clean that off. Got the water turned down, let's see what happens. Let it run for a while to run any silicone or lubricate or penetrating oil out of the system, because you don't want to be drinking that stuff. Also make sure the hot's on the left and the cold's on the right. In this case I got warm water on the left. Sometimes things get a little funny and you get the wrong temperature on the wrong side. No leaks around here. Thank you for watching. Consider hitting the like button and subscribing for more future wonderful content. Bye now.